ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। नमो महापतन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरतुचे नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So we welcome everyone for today's discussion on Srimad Bhagavad Gita, a manual of life. So, yesterday we discussed from Bhagavad Gita first chapter, verse number 10. This verse is Duryodhana is speaking this verse. Aparyaptam tadasmakam balam bhishmabhirakshitam paryaptam tu idamete balam bhimabhirakshitam. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas carefully protected by Bhima is limited. So in this verse, Duryodhana is telling that we are very nicely protected by Bhishma, the great experienced general, and also we have great strength, immeasurable balam, aparyaptam balam. Balam means military strength. Military strength is also known as balam, and that is aparyaptam, immeasurable. And on the other hand, the Pandavas' military strength is paryaptam, limited, and that strength is also protected by less experienced General Bhima. So that is his calculation. But yesterday we discussed another meaning of paryaptam is sufficient. So even though Pandavas' military strength is less as compared to Duryodhana's, and but still that is sufficient, paryapt, sufficient to kill Kauravas, sufficient to defeat Kauravas. So the lesson we learned from this discussion yesterday that uh, we may be personally, individually, we may be very less powerful. We may be means our strength may be limited, but if we bring Krishna in our life, if we take shelter of Krishna, so uh, when Krishna's strength is with us, then we can also become victorious in the battle of life. So in the battle of life, to become victorious means to overcome birth, death, cycle of birth and death. That is the victory. Victory over death. That is actual victory. And that can only be possible by a person who has taken shelter of the Supreme Lord, Mukunda, Mukti Dadati, Mukunda. Nobody else can protect himself. No demigods can protect a person from the cycle of birth and death. Even the demigods, they themselves are not protected from the cycle of birth and death. They also have to take birth again. They also have to die. That is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. Kshine punyam artha lokam vishanti. So what is the use of taking shelter of anyone who himself is bound by the modes of material nature, who himself is conditioned? How can he help us? That's not possible. It's like you need money, and if you go and ask a beggar, give me some money. So how he can give? He himself is a beggar. Of course, if you come in Mumbai and ask, beggars may give because they are millionaire here. Beggars of Mumbai, they are not like ordinary beggars. They are very rich. They have big bungalow in their hometowns. But still they will not give because they are beggar. So similarly, the one who himself is bound by the material modes of nature, one who himself is under the clutches of cycle of birth and death, he cannot protect us. Only Krishna can protect us because Krishna is beyond this material existence. He is supreme controller. We are controlled. Everyone else is controlled. Ishvara Parma Krishna. Ekala Ishwar Krishna Ar Savabhai. That is explained in Brahma Samhita. So now next verse, Duryodhana is telling. अयनेषु च सर्वेषु यथा भागम् अवस्थिताः भीष्ममेव विरक्षन्तु भवन्तः सर्व एव हि. So all of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. So in the previous verse, Duryodhana, he wanted to encourage the warriors of his army. So that's why he listed all those warriors, great warriors who are present on his side. And he concluded with the powerful Bhishma. He told finally in the previous 10th verse that our strength is immeasurable because we are under the protection of Grandfather Bhishma. Bhishma is very, very powerful. So Duryodhana might have felt that because of this, because he specifically glorified Bhishma in front of all other great warriors, all are Kshatriyas present there. So Kshatriyas, they cannot tolerate others' glories. They want themselves to be glorified. Otherwise, they will not get the inspiration to act. That is the difference between a Brahmana and a Kshatriya. And of course, Vaishnava is a completely different, category. So even Brahmana, who is also within this material modes of nature, but still he has liberal mentality. A Brahmana doesn't require anyone's inspiration or motivation in terms of his glories. He does not require that somebody should come and glorify that, oh, you are such a great scholar, Pandit, you are so gentle, so many different blah, blah, blah. But Brahmana doesn't require all these things because he is fixed up in his service to the Supreme Lord. He knows perfectly well that what is my duty. So Brahmana is self-inspired, is self-motivated. That's why he is always detached. He is not at all attached to the fruits. And the best Brahmana is a Vaishnava. A devotee of Krishna is the best Brahmana. So that is why a devotee is completely detached from all kinds of material inspiration. But he has a great inspiration within his own heart because Krishna himself inspires him. And the love for Krishna inspires him. That's why even though in the external situation, external world, there may be so many situations where a Vaishnava, a devotee is demotivated, he is not inspired, he is criticized, and he is not helped, he is not assisted, but still he doesn't take even a single step back from the service of Krishna. He is always ever inspired to serve Krishna. But those people who are in this material world, those who are conditioned soul, who are conditioned, they require some kind of inspiration to go on with their activities, to go on with their duties to perform. Especially in this example here, Kshatriyas are there. If Kshatriyas, they require this kind of inspiration where they can show their heroic activities. Somebody should be there to see their heroic activities. Otherwise, what is the value? And that was the calculation of Arjuna also in the beginning. When he was in Dehatma Buddhi, so he told Krishna, my dear Krishna, even if I win the battle, what will be the use? Because all of my relatives are standing in front of me. So after the battle is over, everyone will be killed. So to whom I will show my opulences that I am such a great warrior. To whom I will show. So that there is no use in fighting this battle. So that was his calculation. So in conditioned state, a person becomes inspired from external circumstances. That's why earlier Kshatriyas used to have multiple wives. Why? Because from wives they used to get inspiration. Because when a Kshatriya goes out for battling in the battlefield, so he remembers always. He remembers that I cannot run away from the battle. I must perform very well. I must become victorious. Otherwise, what my queens will think about me? They will chastise me. And it so happened also, there is one case. There was one Kshatrani. Kshatranis, they are also very emotionally strong, wives of Kshatriyas. So in Rajasthan, one Kshatriya, he came back from the battles and he knocked the door. The queen did not open the door. She said, "You go back. You are a coward. How can you come inside the room? You're not at all allowed. You go back." She flatly said. Huh? And if at all you have to come, either you become victorious and come, or your head should come. You should not come. So that is the spirit of Kshatriya women also. They are also very brave. And there was one. Wait. So there was one Kshatriya woman queen. So when her husband was killed, the king was killed in the battle. So these Muslims, they came and attacked. They wanted to rape, and they wanted to loot all the kingdom. So all the Kshatriya women, uh, they all of them together, they jumped in the well and they died. That is not considered as suicide. That is not suicide. That is the spirit of Kshatriya. So that kind of spirit is there in Kshatriyas. So of course, this is also actually material conditioning in one sense. That's why they require inspiration. So Duryodhana, understanding the situation, that I have too much glorified Bhishma in front of such great warriors. Although, okay, no problem. Bhishma is the senior most Kshatriya. So no problem with this. So nobody is going to become envious of Bhishma because he is very senior personality. But still, others will get inspiration only when their specific glories are mentioned to them. That's why in this verse, understanding the situation, because Duryodhana is himself Kshatriya, and he himself is a great diplomat. So he knows the situation, that they require some kind of recognition also. That's why in this verse, he is trying to tell all of you must now you give full support to grandfather Bhishma. Okay, no doubt, Bhishma is very powerful. He is a very expert, experienced general, and he can give us victory. But he alone. He cannot do anything. He requires a lot of support. So you all are required to support him. Without your support, Bhishma will not be able to give his full effort, and he will not be able to give us victory, because Bhishma might become engaged in fighting with some warrior, and others may take advantage of it and kill him, attack on him. Okay. So in this way, Bhishma might become busy fighting with others, and hence others may take advantage of it. That's why all of you are required to give protection to Bhishma, protect him so that he can continue his business of fighting with great warriors. So that's why he says that all of you must also ayanesu cha sarveshu yatha bhagam avasthita. Yatha bhagam avasthita means to be situated differently as per your qualification, as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into phalanx of the armies. That means you should also according to your qualification, your position hierarchy, you should stand, and you should you should also give your full support in fighting Bhishma. So this is what Duryodhana's plan is, to encourage others also. So that is the difference between devotional service and motivational service. So in this material world, people are given motivation. Who requires motivation? Who has no internal desire to serve. But devotional service means it is voluntarily executed. Devotee doesn't require recognition or inspiration or motivation. So this is also one of the tests. So if we are performing devotional service because somebody is recognizing our abilities, or somebody is recognizing our services, that means actually we are not performing pure devotional service. We are performing either emotional service or motivational service, and that is only a conditional service, not pure devotional service. Pure devotional service means he, in all the circumstances, whether one recognizes him or does not recognize him, he is always ready to serve Krishna, because he has eternal connection with the Supreme Lord. He understands. That if I go on, if I'm going on and serving Krishna all the time, so Krishna recognizes. How does it matter if somebody recognizes or not? And a devotee, even he is not concerned with the recognition of Krishna. All. He simply wants to give service to Krishna. He simply wants to give benefit to the Supreme Lord. That is his motivation. Even if Krishna doesn't recognize, Krishna also doesn't recognize, then also devotee is inspired to act. He never asks, he never have this doubt or question that I have been serving Krishna from so many years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, but still why? Narsas are still there. Why my mind is getting distracted? Why I'm not getting taste for serving Krishna? Why am I still I'm facing so many challenges, so many difficulties? My health goes down, and other devotees they do not cooperate with me, and people are there to insult me, criticize me. So in this way, a devotee, genuine devotee, he never calculates like this. He's ready with all the circumstances, whether one insults him, whether one doesn't recognize him, or whether he is becoming free from the material entanglement or not. He is not. He is least concerned about all these things. He puts aside his mind completely separate, and he's only concerned. Let me serve Krishna and give benefit to the Supreme Lord. Krishna Arthe Akhil Chesta. All the endeavors should be put for the service of Krishna to give benefit to the Supreme Lord Krishna. That was the motto given by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur. He said, Krishna Arthe Akhil Chesta. Devotee means he is always anxious that whatever I give, whatever I do, whatever I chesta means whatever endeavor with my body, mind, or words, whatever I can do, that should be only for Krishna Arthe. Krishna Arthe Akhila Chesta. Akhil means all the endeavors, not even a single percent, not even 0.0005%. It's not that okay, 99.99% Krishna it is for you, and 0.01% I also want some. I'm serving you from so many years. At least give me some recognition. At least give me some benefit, some position, some facility. At least you should give. No, he doesn't demand. If you want, you can remain. You can keep me like in this position also. And if you want, you can worsen my position. My situation doesn't matter. But devotee's concern is he wants to give 100% credit to Krishna, 100% results of his activities to Krishna. That is actually Taktva Karma Phalas Sangam that we were discussing in there before class. So in this way, this is the difference between a pure devotee and a non-devotee. And mixed devotees also sometimes they require some inspiration, encouragement. So of course we give because we cannot expect everyone to come to this platform immediately. But it's our duty to give. But as far as these principles are concerned, to apply for our own self, we should be always prepared. Why should I be dependent upon the inspiration, encouragement from others? Why can't I just give my best? Simply thinking, simply understand, not just thinking. It is not the just level of the thinking. It's the understanding or its actual position. Why can't I situate myself on the platform, the spiritual platform, understanding that I'm an eternal servant of Krishna. My duty is to serve Krishna. Krishna is loving us. Krishna is very affectionate to us. Krishna is giving to us everything. He never comes to us and says, I have done so many things to you. Rather, actually, we require that, my dear Lord Krishna, please reveal to us what all things you are doing for our benefit so that we can develop love for you. But Krishna is such a wonderful personality. He hides himself. Although he is doing everything for the welfare of devotees as well as non-devotees, everyone. For everyone, Krishna is doing everything. Every moment, Krishna is giving benefit. Every moment, Krishna is doing welfare. Every moment, Krishna is concerned for each and every living entities. But the beauty of Krishna's function, Krishna's work is, or Krishna's mercy, is that he doesn't reveal himself that I am doing so much. Only to those very, very, very fortunate souls, Krishna sometimes appears and reveals them that this is my mercy. And that situation, a devotee becomes completely surrendered to Krishna. So similarly, we should also follow in the footsteps of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Because we are supposed to be follower of Krishna. We are servant of Krishna, devotees of Krishna, trying to become devotee of Krishna. So similarly, we should also be detached. We should be self-inspired. Why it is so that somebody is required to counsel us, somebody is required to ask us, how is your sadhana going on? Why it is so that somebody is required to follow up on? Yes, you please come to the temple, you please come and hear Krishna Katha. No, if you are hearing Krishna Katha, if you are chanting Krishna's holy name, if you are coming and voluntarily doing some kind of services, that is for your benefit. And that is actually the test, how much we are inspired to serve Krishna, how much we are inclined to develop love for the Supreme Lord Krishna. And in for that matter, a devotee is even prepared to put aside all his opinions, all his false ego also. Because sometimes in a team, we make team and we try to serve. We take, for example, we are inspired to preach. But internally there is conflict. There will always be conflict. Why should we get stuck up with these conflicts? Why can't we just become self-inspired that it is my duty to serve Krishna? Krishna is my Lord. I'm not doing it for ISKCON. I'm not doing it for the devotee or for Srila Prabhupada. Of course, we are doing, but our our motivation should be that I have my eternal connection with the Supreme Lord. So it is my duty. I should do. Whether anyone does or not doesn't perform service. What? Why should I take my step back? Huh? So Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur's one disciple in Bangladesh. So he wanted to organize Vyas Puja ceremony of Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur in Bangladesh. Vyas Puja means the birthday of a spiritual master is celebrated in a gorgeous manner. There is festival, and then disciples come, they celebrate, and there is a big feast and kirtan and glorification of the spiritual master is done. So that is a kind of great festival. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur said, okay, so we shall celebrate this Vyas Puja in Bangladesh in your center. So that disciple went, and a few days before the Vyas Puja ceremony, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur sent one of his disciples from Mayapur to Bangladesh. And just go and see if that disciple requires some kind of help. So you go 2 3 days back, he sent. And day before the Vyas Puja, Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur was supposed to come along with all his hundreds of disciples. And many thousands of disciples are going to come on the day of Vyas Puja from all over Bengal, Odisha, and Bangladesh. So that disciple sent by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he went and he saw there was no arrangement. The disciple who was supposed to prepare all the event, so he just forgot or he became careless. So he said, oh, I didn't prepare anything. So that disciple who was sent by Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur, he became very perplexed and he tried his best because he was a foreigner, but still he went and he organized, he managed and he did everything, whatever best he could do. So he did it very nicely. When Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur came, so after the festival was over, so this disciple who came from Bengal, he went to Guru Maharaj and he started complaining that particular disciple who told that we want to celebrate your Vyas Puja in Bangladesh, please come. And he invited you, but he did not prepare anything. Practically, there was nothing done. When I went, we organized, we had the meeting with all the devotees. We started collecting funds and we started managing all the event festival. So he did not do anything. In this way, he was complaining. So Srila Bhaktivedanta Thakur said, why should you complain? Why do you think that that is his service? That is your service also. Whether in Mayapur, Calcutta or Bangladesh, the Vyas Puja is being performed for your spiritual master also. So if that disciple is not serious about that, why should you think that if he is not serious in celebrating this festival in his temple, I am a person coming out from another temple. Why should I become so serious about doing this service? No, this mentality should not be there. Wherever we are, in whichever place we are, in whichever ISKCON temple we are, we serve Srila Prabhupada. By, we want to please him. We want to please Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Krishna. And all of them can be made pleased if we try to preach by book distribution or by connecting others to Krishna consciousness movement. So this is one lesson I just mentioned. That all the Duryodhana, those who are conditioned in material consciousness, they require encouragement. So Duryodhana is giving encouragement to them also that you are also important person. That's why in ISKCON also sometimes this encouragement is required. That's why devotees are given posts. Oh, you are manager, you are president, temple president, vice president, you are director. Huh? So many posts are given because the post gives some inspiration. And there is the attitude of ownership that I am owner of this, so I must do it. So that is also good, okay. But we should not just remain on that platform. We should try to progress ahead. So anyway, so we'll just read the purport and then we'll end here. Duryodhana, after praising the progress of Bhishma, further considered that others might think that they had been considered less important. So in his usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized that Vishwadev was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man, so everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in the fight, and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave their strategic positions and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. Duryodhan clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Vishwadev. He was confident of the full support of Bhishma and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word when Arjuna's wife Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all the great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the two generals had some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that these generals would now completely give it up, and as they had done during the gambling performance. So, with this hope, Duryodhana is going ahead. He is also inspired. Duryodhana is inspired and approaching Dronacharya and Bhishma in a wrong, in an illusory way, inspiration. He is thinking Bhishma and Drona did not object when Draupadi was attempted to become naked in front of thousands of personalities present there. So he's thinking that Dronacharya and Bhishma, they are on the side of Kauravas. That's why they did not object. But that is not the actual fact. Bhishma and Drona understanding the desire of the Supreme Lord Krishna. Bhishma and Drona, being a pure devotee of Krishna, they wanted to establish this fact that only Krishna can protect us. Nobody else can protect us. Krishna wanted to teach this lesson. That's why they remained silent. That is internal reason. But still, externally, they acted like this. So, in the Bhagavatam, that Sabha is considered as a Sat Sabhaya, assembly of crooked person. So, those people who want to see the woman in naked form, they are known as crooked persons. Practically nowadays, most of the people they fall in this category, crooked person. That's why it is very difficult because crooked person they cannot understand the message of the Krishna consciousness movement. Crooked means not simple. Only a simple devotee is qualified to understand the message, and this is one of the reason why we have very less number of devotees. Okay, anyway, so we'll stop here. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram.
नेचुरल डेडिकेशन कैसे कोई डेवलप कर सकता है कृष्णा को सर्व करने के लिए, क्योंकि अभी जिस स्टेज में है हम तो उसमें हमें एक सपोर्ट चाहिए पड़ता है भक्ति में आगे बढ़ने के लिए। जैसे मेरा भाई मुझे बहुत सपोर्ट करता है इस चीज के लिए, तो वो चीज अगर नहीं होगी तो मैं शायद डगमगा जाऊंगी। तो
ये सही बात है, इसलिए सपोर्ट रिक्वायर्ड है, इसलिए हमको देना है सपोर्ट। तो लेकिन अपने लिए हमको सोचना है, हमको भक्तों को सपोर्ट देना है, हमको इंस्पायर करना है। हाँ, कोई भी भक्त नए जुड़ते हैं तो हम बोलते हैं कि बहुत अच्छी बात है, बहुत अच्छा लगा आप आए। इंस्पायर हमको करना ही चाहिए। दे फील सेंस ऑफ कनेक्टिविटी। तो इससे इंस्पिरेशन, ऐसे फिर जो सेवा करते हैं तो उनको हमको इंस्पायर करना चाहिए, रिकॉग्नाइज करना चाहिए सेवा। और ये जस्ट आर्टिफिशियल नहीं है, दिस इज ऑल्सो दिस मैनिफेस्टेशन ऑफ ग्रेटिट्यूड। उसके कारण एनी जेन्युइन डिवोटी will recognize the services rendered by another devotee. And in that recognition, out of gratitude, humility, and out of gratitude, he takes he appreciates it. He says thank you. But we should not be dependent upon just thank you or recognition or appreciation. And we should not hanker, we should not think that I will do this service so that my name will be announced and I'll get the recognition that I have done such a great service. Although the devotee who is receiving this service, that is his attitude, that is his emotions, not just emotion, it's spiritual emotion that he wants to uh, is, express his gratitude for such services. Like Srila Prabhupada, even a small service rendered to him, he always used to say thank you very much. Even just those people who came and attended his lecture, at the end of all lecture, he always said thank you very much. Any questions? So, and that is definitely appreciable because Krishna himself, he appreciates any person who approaches him even with material motivation. Krishna appreciates Udara Sarvete. Krishna says Chaturvida Bhadante Maam Jana Sukritun Arjuna. Artharthi Jigyasu Gyani Cha Bharatar Sava. Okay, these four kinds of people they come and approach me. Those who are desirous of wealth, those who are suffering from some kinds of miseries, so they want to get rid of their suffering. And Krishna knows very well that after getting the material facilities, material benefit, they will go away. He knows it also. But still, when such kind of people they come, Krishna appreciates, oh wow, such a noble person. Udara. His heart is such very great, such a magnanimous. Udara means magnanimous. Magnanimous means great hearted person. So Krishna says, Udara, magnanimous. But we know what kind of magnanimous soul we are. We have come to Krishna with material benefit. We were suffering in this material world. We got frustrated. That's why we land up into ISKCON. But anyway, Krishna is very merciful. He accepts. And that devotee is also very wonderful. If he sticks to Krishna, does not leave Krishna. So he is also very great soul. No doubt about it. Okay. Hare Krishna. If there's any other question? Question. अच्छा
मतलब
कितना टाइम लगता है
डेडिकेशन से
कि
सर्व
we
कर
we may
सके
become
मतलब।
self okay,
हाँ।
okay. The question is that how much time it will take to us to become fixed up in the service of Krishna, means from our own inspiration, self inspiration, that we may not require external inspiration. So it depends. It may happen in within a fraction of second also, or it may not happen even after millions of lifetimes. It depends upon our desire. Do we really desire to become uh, a devotee, pure devotee of Krishna? Do we really desire? Do we really have a desire to please Krishna? To develop our eternal relationship, awaken our relationship with the Supreme Lord. If anybody who has this desire, intense desire, that I simply want to revive, reawaken my relationship with the Supreme Lord, that is my desire. So he will do anything. He will do anything. He will not care for anything else. And just like a boy, this is a perfect example. That's why I'm giving this example again and again. A boy who has fallen in love with a girl, so he is ready to do any damn thing. Uh, he can fight with anyone, or he can become very humble with anyone. He can even make his enemy his boss, or if required, he can even fight with his own relative, parents also. Why? Because he has fallen in love. So only in that situation, when a devotee who has fallen in love with Krishna, or you can say when a devotee who actually desires to fall in love with the Supreme, that devotee also will become self-inspired in spite of all uh, means unfavorable circumstances. He will not miss the opportunity to serve the Lord. You can see practically in the life of Srila Prabhupada. He was so sick, practically bedridden, but still within his heart there was a burning desire to serve Krishna, to preach Krishna, about Krishna. And he did not want to miss the opportunity yeah, to glorify Krishna. So that burning desire was there in his heart because he was completely in love with the Supreme Lord Krishna. That's why he could do so. And so many other devotees. They go on serving in spite of unfavorable situations. So if we want to become fixed up in all situations, in spite of all unfavorable situations, like most of us, we are living in an outside world. Somebody is living in college hostels and somebody is living outside and going for jobs and offices. So we meet with so many situations, unfavorable situations. So if we are actually fallen in love with the Supreme Lord, then in spite of all the situation, we'll opt the opportunity to uh, for coming closer to Krishna. Or at least if we have the desire to develop love for Krishna, then we'll not go to Garba, where all Garbad happens. We'll come to Krishna. We'll choose to go to ISKCON temple. But if we are not serious, not so, we are not having even desire to develop love for Krishna, then we'll search out partner and we'll go for enjoying the party. It depends. Okay, anyway.
Prabhuji,
Yes, it is.
one important question. Hare
Yes.
Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam. So, what is the source of desire? Are we born with a clean slate or are we given some desire?
So we are born with some desires in our previous lives. If we have performed some kind of activity, whether bhakti or any kind of activity, if somebody has performed sinful activity, sense gratificatory activity, so as soon as it takes birth, he already has the desire for those things. And if somebody has already executed devotional service in his previous life, so
Mhm.
naturally he gets the inclination to come in contact with devotees to serve Krishna. That inclination is naturally there. But even if somebody doesn't have this, by coming in contact with a pure devotee, one can develop the desire. The desire to serve Krishna, just like uh, the desire for sense gratification becomes manifested when the favorable situation arises.
Mhm.
Similarly, the desire to serve Krishna gets manifested the favorable situation of devotees association.
But Prabhuji,
That is
what is
natural.
this the very first lifetime of a soul? What is
No,
very first
nobody can
lifetime of
trace
a soul?
out. Nobody knows. Even Lord Brahma cannot.
Okay.
Anadi, Anadi. A time immemorial. He is asking what is the very first life of a conditioned soul.
No,
Nobody
no,
can
not like that,
calculate.
Prabhuji. Like, if it is the very first lifetime of a soul, then is that soul born with a desire or not?
No, no. Soul is never born. Soul is always
I mean,
eternal.
taken form.
Yeah. No, there was never the time when soul did not exist. Krishna very clearly says, Natvevaham jatuna natvam ne me janadipa na chaiva na bhavishvama sarve vayam param. There was never the time when you, I, and all these kings did not exist. And nor in the future there will be time when we will cease to exist. That means we'll always be existing. And we were always existing, and we will always exist in the future also.
So, Prabhuji, where did we originate from?
We have no origin. We are always eternal. It is very difficult in material context to understand these things because in material world, everything
Mhm.
has date of death, date of birth, and date of death, date of creation, date of destruction. That is
Mhm.
the natural law of this material existence, this body, object, even this creation itself. But the soul is not the part of this material creation.
Mhm.
Soul does not belong to this material world. The soul or
Belongs
spiritual
to
things
Krishna.
does not have this kind of reality or existence, this kind of uh, concepts
Prabhuji,
like taking birth and dying.
I just got the thought that we were all with Krishna, and then some of us decided for some reason to leave Krishna, so we were put on earth. And because of that very desire, we took form on earth. Beautiful.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna. Hare Pranam, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. एक क्वेश्चन का
हरे
आंसर दे
कृष्ण
देते हैं.
प्रभु जी.
हाँ, yes.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Yes, Prabhu.
हाँ, प्रणाम प्रभु जी. As you gave the example of bhakta, artharthi, etc. I have a small question.
Yes.
जैसे कि भगवान जो है जिसकी जैसी भावना है वैसे उसको देते हैं। अर्थार्थी को अर्थ देते हैं, आर्त भक्त है उसको उसकी आर्तता के अनुसार देते हैं। लेकिन ऐसा कहा जाता है कि भगवान जिसके ऊपर कृपा करते हैं और जो अच्छी भक्ति करता है उससे कुछ छीन भी लेते हैं। जैसे महाराष्ट्र के एक संत हुए तुकाराम जी महाराज,
Yeah.
उनका
Okay.
जो व्यापार था वो डूब गया, पत्नी मर
Yes.
गई, और
Okay. I am.
उन्होंने उसको भगवान को थैंक यू कहा। तो ये सभी
Yes.
भक्तों के साथ करते हैं या सिर्फ स्पेशल भक्त जैसे तुकाराम जी, ज्ञानेश्वर जी, उनके ही साथ करते हैं?
Special devotees. Yasyaham anugranami harishetat dhanam sanay. To some very fortunate special devotees, when I give a special mercy, I take away everything. Krishna does with very
अच्छा।
special devotees.
But
And
do you know
actually,
those?
हाँ।
it's not that Krishna takes away. Rather, Krishna wants to give something more valuable, and in order to so that we can hold something more valuable, we have to give up less valuable. Because until unless your patra is not empty, how can you put the important? The patra, the container has to be emptied. So Krishna does that business with a very special devotee. Those who desire, actually, with a special devotee means you can also be that kind of devotee, special devotee. Those any devotee who has a very sincere desire that, my dear Krishna, I want you and you and you only. But at the same time, sometimes there are some material hankering, material desire are still present, because of which, as soon as he comes in contact with those material things, material objects and people, he may get attached to them. He may get deviated. So, in order to protect such a devotee, Krishna removes that obstacle from his path to such a sincere, just like he did with Narada Muni. When Narada was a boy, so he already developed ruchi for the Supreme Lord in the association of those pure devotees. But he had a great affection for his only mother. The mother was only relative to him. And mother also had a great affection for the child, because she also doesn't have anyone else other than the child. So over the period of time, Krishna made some arrangement. Mother got died, and then finally, Narada boy, he became completely detached, no other attachment from this material world, and he just wandered completely independently. And in this way, he developed pure love for Krishna. And the mother also got liberated and got a very nice position. But materially, one cannot understand this. One may think that, just see, this boy became devotee of Krishna and his mother died. So externally, one may think like this. But the devotee, he understands. So he never blames Krishna. He rather he says, thank you very much, Krishna. And so that's why our only prayer to Krishna should be, my dear Lord, you do whatever is best for my progress in devotion service. If by giving something I may progress in Krishna consciousness, you please give. Abundantly you give. And if by removing something I can progress in Krishna in your bhakti, you remove everything. That is attitude of a devotee. He is not concerned. He is not a devotee. Is not attached. Is neither attached nor detached. A devotee doesn't want to become detached. A devotee doesn't want to get attached. If by becoming attached, one can serve Krishna better, he is ready to become attached to material things, material objects, material people. So this is the calculation of a devotee. Okay, anyway, time is too much.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. So
Thank you,
one.
Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
So